up, everyone? It's your girl. Every time I do this intro, every time them laugh about the intro. But all I hear what's up, everyone? It's your girl Zay, and we have Gabby, who is not necessarily new here.
No.
But if you are new here, then she would be new to you.
Yeah.
And welcome if you're new here. If you're not so new here, welcome back. This is our first installation in a very, it's not even the first installation. Makeup and Mayhem was a thing, then it stopped. So I'm gonna put in the cards, though I would say I'm not even a member, but I'm gonna put in the cards where, no, the cards are up here. So I'm gonna put in the cards where you can find the playlist of all the previous Makeup and Mayhems, and let me just say, it's back. It's back because you know what, men out here giving me a lot of content, and I feel it's very unfair for me to keep that to myself. And trust me, she have the content too, so it was just only right. It was kind of impromptu because I'm gonna do this by myself, but it was kind of impromptu, and I was like, okay, you're coming in the video. Kill two birds in one stone. So Makeup and Mayhem is back, and we have Gabby here today. And you know, we're just gonna get into it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, you know, leave a comment. If I ask a question, go ahead and answer it in the little comment section below, and you know, let's have a good time. So we're gonna be doing our makeup. Also, we're gonna be doing a little mukbang. So me, I have cheese curls, yes, some Chinese snacks. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be eating. What I think we're gonna do with makeup and something there. So anything that I use or she uses, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the description box below, because we can't really talk about makeup and talk about what do you call it? My parents teach me better still, you know, not to eat, and but we can't really talk about makeup and talk about the stories. What's that? But today it won't really necessarily be stories, maybe things that we've gone through, yes, but it's not like a set story today, and you'll eventually see what we're gonna be talking about. But just a disclaimer, little disclaimer and thing, let me just say that if you know me or happen to know me or know of me or come into my presence, any of our presence in real life, don't do anything stupid or crazy, because you will end up on Makeup and Mayhem. Let's just say that's all I had to say. So let's get into it. The first question I want to ask Gabby though is, what are your thoughts on men? Especially the men that, you know, approach you. And let me tell you why this question came up. And the primer that I'm using today, even though I said I wasn't going to use it, but it's something very new. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless. I typically don't use matte stuff, but yeah. Why I asked this question is because I went to the barber. Yeah, I went to the barber, and my barber, me no same like me and thing and beer things, you understand? So I went to the barber, and you know, when I was getting ready to leave, he was asking me if I have a man. So I say, no, I don't have a man, and I kind of lose a phone. It was just a general statement, because do I desire to be in a relationship? Yes, but the quality of men nowadays,
it's trash.
The quality of men nowadays, and then I have to question myself, because it's not like there aren't any good men out there, but the ones that are approaching me, I'm like, is something wrong with me, or is just my generation of men, or what?
That's the thing that a lot of women are asking themselves, like, the kind of men that are approaching us, we're like, is there something wrong? Why am I attracting these clowns?
Exactly. Complete clowns. Complete. And this is not for everybody. I'm not saying, because you know, there are men out there who are really good. I'm gonna just tell you a quick story too. Not my story. I won't really mention who the person is, but basically somebody that I knew. She got married when she was young. According to her, she got married because she wanted to have sex and didn't want to go to hell. But she got married when she was young, and you know, she thought she got married to the love of her life and all of these things, and it turned out that it was, you know, hell on earth. Basically, they got divorced and all of these things, and she swore to herself that as long as she lived, she would never not never get into a relationship, but she would never rush to get married again. She had no problems being a long-term girlfriend because, you know, I mean, her first love was her first love. So she didn't have any experiences outside of that, and it wasn't a great experience, right? And then her now husband, you know, he completely changed her with thoughts on how her perspective on how men are nowadays. So it's not like these men don't exist, these good men. And for us, it's very important that these men are not just Christian in name but in action, because there are a lot of guys out here, so let me tell you,
there are a lot of them that say like, oh, I'm a Christian, I go to church or whatever, and when you see their life, like,
it doesn't line up. Like, it's crazy. If you see me looking off to the side, we only have one mirror. so I'm just trying to do it. I'm looking at the screen over here, but yeah, the quality of men that approach me are just not it. And I'm just being very honest. And then my barber was like, how are you going to know if you don't give these, or say for example, he was saying, how are you going to know I'm not the guy for you if you don't give me a chance? I'm like, yo, you guys have traumatized me to the point where I'm like, literally, I have PTSD literally. I have to sit down and literally observe Uno to the T, because not only that, you know, after being, and if you watch that Makeup and Mayhem video, where I was talking about my sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic ex, yeah, if you have watched it, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it now, or you can watch it after. It will be in the description box below. But if you haven't, when you don't, mega use that, because if you haven't, having coming out of that relationship, and you know how narcissists are, they show you what you want in the beginning and you believe that's who they are, and then after believing that's who they are and they switch up on you, it's very hard to reach that level of trust with other persons, because you're like, suppose they switch up on you too, you understand? And if you hear anything in the background, my parents are watching world under 20 championships. Yeah. So you know all Jamaicans stay.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Top cover league.
Exactly.
It's a grand
final. So yeah, and it's also Independence Day, so our look will be
Jamaican themed.
Independence themed. So yeah, so coming out of that relationship, it was very traumatizing. So everybody that comes my way, maybe some me problem. I know that.
So I'm saying it's PTSD.
No, because I'm saying, because at the same time I'm saying, oh, the quality of men that I attract. But then it could be a me problem. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it. But, you know, at the same time, you have to learn to stick to your standards.
Truly.
So at one point, you know, I was thinking that, yo, my standards may be like too high. My standards are, you know, unattainable per se, and they're not. They're really not. This is just me, you know, thinking to myself, and they're really not unattainable, because at right now my main standard, and I think once that person has that, everything else will fall into place. My main standard is for that person to be a follower of Christ.
Period.
Exactly. And I just think everything else, because if God is the one who created you, right? God is the one who created you. God knows you. God knows the desires of your heart. God knows what you want. God knows the things that sometimes even the things that you want are not the things that you need. So He'll send you even better things, right? So if it is that, but that's the facts.
Pause a second. Listen. It's all look crazy right now, but listen. Sometimes when God doesn't give you what you want, He's preparing you for what you need.
Exactly. Because sometimes what we think we need, we don't have sense as human beings, you know. We think we do. We think we do, but we don't. When compared to God, we really don't have that much sense at all. So when it is that, you know, this person is a follower of Christ and God sends him my way, or me so happen to walk by him and him fall in love and drop to his knees and, you know, all of these things, lovely things, you know, treat me like a princess that I am, it's because he's a follower of Christ, and God say, yo, I see that, you know, and them things there. So that's my main standard now. Yes, there are other things like physical things like, I like a guy who is, athletic. Well, let me not say athletic. I work out, so I kind of want a guy who works out too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that picky anymore in terms of should he have abs, should he this, that, or. But this is not the point of the video. The point of the video is not to settle, because a lot of us are settling out here, especially as we get older. Me a quarter century this year. I am 25 this year. I thought, when did you think you would be married?
2 years ago.
Okay.
And that's crazy.
I thought I would have been married by 24. I am 23. And by 24, I'd probably have my first kid and my first house. I'm still living on my parents' house.
Yo, that's crazy.
Crazy. And my parents are telling me, yo, at this age, they just got married and all of these things. And I'm like, that's just not my portion, apparently. And it's okay, because guess what? The timing of the world, or your timing, is not God's timing. And there's a reason for everything under the sun. Everything under the sun. So guess what? I have no issue waiting on... It's funny because I'm not doing my makeup and she's doing her makeup over here. I have no issue waiting on that person. If I'm 30, God know why I'm have to wait till I'm 30. If I'm 40, God know why I'm have... It's hard because guess what? Me want married by 26. Me want married by 26. But suppose God no want that. Suppose God have a reason why him no want me married by 26. What am I gonna do? And that's another thing too. A lot of persons feel their life starts when they get married.
Oh gosh. Yes. And it's so not true, guys. And this is something that my mom said as well. Live your life before you get married. Honestly.
Exactly.
Because I feel like we're so focused on getting married and, getting to that married life that we miss the life that we're supposed to be living in the moment. Y'all. The life that you want when you're married is still there when you're single. Live that life and live it by yourself too. Find yourself before you get married.
That's a lot of
the big lesson
persons try to get married to find themselves, which is quite absurd. Find yourself outside of... Because the thing is, suppose it is God don't want you to get married, then what? Are you gonna spend the rest of your life waiting for that to happen when God clearly tell you say it not go happen, and let your life waste away? That's crazy to me.
That's very crazy.
that's absolutely crazy to me, because honestly, life is so amazing, single and married. Me not married now, so me can't talk about the married life and all of them things here. So I can't talk about that, right? I can only talk from a single perspective, and all I have to say is that enjoy life as a single person. You can enjoy life as... the thing about it, a lot of times people look for relationship to validate who they are. As an individual. Since when?
Girl.
Since when does a relationship define who you are? Since when does a relationship make you who you are?
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It's not supposed to.
But
we made that mistake a lot.
Yeah.
I think we really do. And I have to reiterate what I said before. Spend time in your singleness now and find out who you are now. You're not supposed to find yourself in somebody.
Exactly.
You're supposed to find yourself, so that when that somebody comes, you can share yourself with them, and vice versa. Ensure that they find themselves when they come to you.
I know the thing about it too. Persons who are hurt from past relationships and things like that. While you do not need to wait to be completely healed to go into a relationship, some form of healing has to come, right? And a lot of us, because we are so used to not being alone, not being with ourselves, learning who we are, instead of healing or getting into the process of healing, what we do is we rush into the next relationship, and then that person gets hurt by us, and then it's just a never ending cycle of hurt people hurting more people.
Yes, yeah.
It's sad, because personally for me, I am of the thinking that, and maybe because we're both empaths, but I don't want anybody to be hurt by me.
Yup.
Yes, it's inevitable because we're human beings. So there's gonna come some form of hurt some way or another, either through speech or action, whatever it may be. But the point is, we're trying not to hurt people, right? So if I know within myself that I am not healed from certain things, oh, this reminds me of I can't really go into that story right now,
Yeah.
because it's a very recent story. Lots of things involved. Maybe one day, hopefully. But if I know I'm but then again, sometimes people don't know themselves enough to know that they aren't healed
That's very
from
true.
certain things. So there's also that to consider as well. Like,
That's why I always say
how do you
introspection
know?
Introspection is very important.
And a lot of persons don't do that. They
don't
just
take
want
the
to
time
jump
to.
from one relationship to the next, and then when it falls through, you're like,
What's happening?
but I gave my all in this. You
Mhm.
gave your all, but you didn't heal. You gave your all, but you still had maybe some residual things that manifested or went on or was passed on to the other person. And there's not only that, you gave your all, but that person wasn't your person. A lot of us are dating someone else's husband or wife. Let me just say that, okay?
You're coming for people's necks is in a big
No,
person.
a lot of us are, for real. A lot of us are dating someone else's husband or wife, and that's where introspection again comes in.
Mhm.
If we're not introspecting enough, that me a chat and me not do my makeup. Yeah, if we're not introspecting, yeah, guys, it has a mirror, so because they might be wondering why I took up the phone. If we're not introspecting enough to know who we are, and that's why that moment of singleness is really important, because yeah, you have the ability to know who you are, how you operate by yourself, how you operate with friends, how you operate as a person, with maybe, observe what are your thoughts on different things and stuff like that, separate and aside from when you have someone you are with, and for some reason your thoughts become their thoughts, and because that lovey-dovey stage where everything no one do everything together,
The honeymoon phase.
yeah, that phase, it's crazy. It's crazy out here.
Crazy.
But enjoy your singleness. It's not a death sentence, and if you have to live single for the rest of your life, it's still not a death sentence. It can be such a beautiful thing. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I feel like I want somebody. Like,
Girl, listen, I said this to a friend the other day, to say, I was literally crying, y'all. Your girl, yeah, I'm a thug, I promise. But like,
we don't cry over here, but sometimes we
I
do.
said to our friend, listen, I feel heartbroken, but I'm not even with anybody. I wonder if that makes sense though. Like, you're going through life and like going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 talking phases.
And then you start back at the
Everything fails
beginning.
and you're like back to phase
Honey,
one.
I'd rather start back at the beginning than go further and then end up in complete heartbreak.
That's very true, but at the same time, you just want this
Yeah.
one to be right. Like, you just want it to work out. But it
Like,
doesn't.
honestly, I've asked
It's
God,
crazy,
because
man.
remember how at the beginning I was saying, like, is what wrong with me? Why do I attract these kind of men? And honestly, and maybe it won't work out for me like this, because maybe God wants me to learn something from these men. I don't know. But I'm like, God, why can't I just be single until I find my person? Like, why do I have to go through these persons to learn these things and all of them things? Why can't we just find my person and live happily ever after, and we just chill and bebble and all of them things there? Not to say that relationships don't have problems, but at least I can focus on the problems in those relationships and not focus on the residual things, the past hurts and then things there, that even though sometimes you heal from them, it doesn't take away from the fact that you do remember these things a lot of times.
A lot
right?
of the times.
It's a lot. But as I say, guys, girls, guys, whoever watch this, probably mostly girls, but if there are guys out here, welcome.
Welcome. This applies to you too, I promise.
Yeah, promise. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say though is that I agree with Shanana Dodo. May I put on brown? Anyways, we're trying to do the Jamaica look. What color are you doing again? Yellow. She's doing yellow. So, but yeah, do not settle. Like, I feel like it's such a disservice to yourself to settle for something less than what you're supposed to have in life.
Mm-hmm.
Such a disservice to yourself. And then when you do that now, what happens is that you just live a miserable life. Like, who wants to live miserable? Not me. I just want to, honestly, I've come to the point in my life where I'm like, God, if singleness is what you call me to, I mean, it may be hard. I don't think it's singleness, and it may be hard, but so be it. Just let me have a really fulfilling life if that is the case, you know.
I think it's similar for me where I literally, like, one day I was praying. I think it was to this week. I was like, God, you know my wants right now, and maybe it's not what I need.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not what I need, or if it's meant to be, it will be.
Exactly.
That's one thing I that's like a.
It's a cliche, but it's true.
It's not I don't believe in mantras. I'm not in that universe thing. But
yeah,
like,
we don't do the universe
it's just
thing.
something I always say to myself anytime a situation occurs, relationship related, like if it's another field talking stage, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If it's meant to be, it will be. Y'all, if it's meant to be, it will be. If this person wasn't for you, it just wasn't meant to be. If they were for you, then it's meant to be. But if not, you just have to like accept it. It's going to be hard. Trust me, it's going to be hard. But you just have to accept it, internalize it, and just say, okay, maybe this person wasn't for me.
And it's not a manifesting kind of thing either. And we went through that the other day.
Yeah.
We've been going through that because both of us have persons that, you know, we're like, we kind of sense something, but then we still wait for God to say, yo, this it. You understand? This it. But then at the same time, they're doing things that are very questionable. And you're like, she had to laugh because this week I went to, well, it wasn't a crisis, but you know, something happened. And obviously, I go to her and I tell her. So if you tell me a secret, this is it. Zip, she unzips, and you know,
vice versa.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. So don't expect your secret to necessarily be safe with me because it'll go to she, but it'll go safe with we, right?
that don't mean say enough to talk to you know.
Yeah,
but we're gonna discuss amongst each other. We're not chatting, you know. We're here.
Sometimes we need to bounce our ideas off of each other. So
share the wisdom.
What's funny is I started watching Manifest on Netflix. I think it just came out on Netflix. So in the movie, what's so funny is that it started with a flight coming from Montego Bay, Jamaica, flight 828, and they use a lot of symbolism in the movie. So there was one part, actually the first part, where the mother was saying all things work together for good, and that's Romans 8:28. Yeah, that verse there. And the flight was flight 828. So I can't ever, like, I always knew the scripture, but I could never quote I could never tell you that it's from Romans 8:28. So now I'll always remember that. So as you say, if it's meant to be me, it will be. And whatever happens to you now, I mean, as long as you're walking in the will and way of God, whatever happens to you now, God will turn it around for good. Because the thing is, you know, I think a lot of times too, especially as Christians, we expect everything to go smoothly. You know, life to just be dandy, and that we shouldn't suffer in the sense that, you know, we follow Christ. Why are we suffering? Why are we subjected to suffering?
Let me negate that thing from now. And I say go.
Exactly.
And I say go. Like,
exactly.
Y'all, that's not how it goes. I promise you.
And it's not say God won't suffer, you know, but if you look at it, as human beings, and this is going into a whole other topic, I'm sorry. But as human beings, if you look at it, we're very greedy. One, we have a lot of, persons who, these world powers who, they control a lot of things. You think poverty would exist if, all of us really worked collectively and helped the persons who are living in poverty? Think about it. We have the ability to eradicate poverty. We have the ability to, all of these social issues that we face, education, whatever it may be. But guess what? We're selfish. We're greedy. We want to do what we want, not what necessarily God has called us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the issue here. So yes, we're going to suffer because guess what? We're humans and there are powers out there who are controlling a lot of these things. And this is not, just political, but even just as normal human beings, everyday human beings. Oh, don't look again. I not even remember. I just a freelance it.
And this is something I always say, a very known quote. You can't have a testimony without the test.
That's true.
So, or you can't have a message without a mess. You see how that plays together? So in order for you to see the good in everything, or see the good things happening, you have to go through some bad stuff. Even when it comes to relationships, it's not the Disney movies. It is not.
That's out of mind. Is there anyone younger than us?
Prince Charming see her for the first time and all of a sudden you want to marry them.
Ooh.
Just like Elsa said, you can't marry a man you just met. Okay. No, it's not like that. That's not realistic. You could find the person who God has planned for you in 2017 and it's 2022 right now and you're still not together.
Bro. But I think that's the situation that I'm in, but we'll see how it plays out. It will be in another Makeup and Mayhem, hopefully. But if it's not, I'm just here trying to follow God's will. Because, God knows best. I need to see the look again. I should show them what the look looks like.
I lost it.
Are you never sent it to me? Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna try, see if I can.
But it's like
this is what I'm doing right now. Okay.
Same concept. But yeah, guys. Love is not a fairy tale.
Not by
and
any means.
You might see some couples on the internet, even though the internet is not necessarily 100% factual, but you might see
all that thing about internet. Let me tell you now. The internet has a way to make you feel, especially if you're a single person and you keep seeing all of these posts, people getting married, your friends getting married, your friends getting engaged, all of these things, having their kids and them things there. It make you feel like, say, you are, and you're behind in life.
Your time is not here yet.
Whenever you find yourself in that position, it is time to come off of the internet.
I'm telling you.
A time. And that's something I've learned to practice as well. Just whenever I find myself being, and it's a prayer that I pray a lot to. I say, God, please help me not to covet what I see on the internet.
Definitely.
Because it's so easy to fall into the trap of, okay, this person is, getting ahead in life and I want that, but suppose that's not what God wants for you.
Exactly.
If that's not what God wants for you, then it's just not for you, honey. It's not for you. But we kind of stray a lot. I was talking about standards and we ended up all over the place. And we still not done me. She further than me. What you do, yellow?
Yeah. I'm starting to...
But the thing is, I do my eyes first because of fallout. And
I just do it any way I want to. I don't experience fallout.
I have fallout right now. I could zoom in and show you guys, but I can't bother. Because, But for now, I'm just saying that the quality of men out here, and this is just a generalization, sometimes I feel like some need for do one of them Google form there. And make some man apply.
Girlfriend applications.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because clearly Hey, that side you don't look like it gonna come out the way oh that side you do, you know.
They never do. Unfortunate, but they never do.
It's supposed to be like okay. I can always fix it with eyeshadow. Not eyeshadow. Let me see that palette. I don't have that palette. So this is the palette I'm using. Juvia's Afrique.
Yeah, and this is the Zulus. Zulus? Yeah. The Zulu by
Yeah,
by Juvia's.
Juvia's. Yeah. So I have other palettes, but these my own has the I'm using this this green right here, and she's using that
I'm
bright
using-
yellow. This has yellow too, but
I'm
it's
using
not
this
as
yellow.
bright.
Yeah.
It's not as bright. I think I might use. Should I use the orange? I'm gonna use the orange. Guys, so this is the finished look, and girl, look when I'm done with everything. Happy 60th anniversary to Jamaica. Yes.
Independence Day, boy.
Anniversary, we say? Yes. Independence. Yes, happy independence. These are our looks. Let's zoom in. Yeah, girl. Come on, one more now. Oh my god, you're still out of frame.
Okay,
Come on. So yes, we're just gonna end the video right here. Thanks for staying with us, for staying for the look, staying for the talk, staying for the mayhem. And we may have some more mayhem added to this, because while we were talking, while we were doing our makeup, as the Lord would have it, we may have a developing story. But see you next time.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. And if nobody yet, never tell you no, I love you no.